Hi and welcome to the You Know What Jones channel with me, Chris. This is the channel where we talk about all things fitness, physio, coaching and well-being. So if you're sitting at a desk most of the day, simple things that you can start doing is like moving more. So getting up, parking further away from work and walking in, taking the stairs, using your break. So during the day, I used to go for walks during my break. So I'd have a light lunch, bit of a sandwich, and then walk whilst I was eating my sandwich. I know that a lot of people are working from home now, but even working from home, it brings different challenges, doesn't it? So if you are working from home, it's about relieving some of that work guilt. So if you was in the office, you'd still be having a conversation with people and getting up and walking about and things. Whereas when you're at home, it's easy to stay in the same position. You haven't got as many people that you're talking to, and you haven't, the environment's different, so you wouldn't have to walk to the printer and that sort of stuff. So it's about putting those little things in place. So thinking about putting your printer in a different room so that you can get up and walk through to it, or your bin, putting it further away so you've got to get up and walk over to it. Just little things like that, really. I mean, I'm not talking about drastic changes. I'm just talking about little changes that you can make to your environment so that it gets you up a little bit more, and gets you walking really, and gets your steps in, but also makes you less sedentary. Yeah, so maybe thinking about your environment as well. It's about setting up your workspace. So having to think about your posture and things. So I know that when I started working from home, I was working in a shed and I was sitting on my fishing tackle box. Not the most comfortable, but I had to rearrange that as soon as I thought, oh, this is long term. So got myself a proper chair, got myself a proper desk, made sure that I got a raise for my laptop to sit on, so it's at the right height, because obviously they're different to your home PCs and your work PCs. So you can raise the height on them. It's also thinking about utilising other things like keyboards and a mouse, so that PC setup is correct. Not just that, it's about where your hands and your head are really, so that you're not in an awkward position that could lead to injuries and aches and pains for the long term. So I know it's things to think about, but if you can set the environment up for you, either working at home or if you're returning to the office now, it's just thinking about what can you put in place to get you up and get you moving a little bit more. So this is designed to be like a circuit, so you do one exercise after the other, and if you can do another set, and if you can after that, you do another set. You can do it at the desk. Some of the exercises, hopefully you don't look too much of a dickhead, and it's not in replace of doing vigorous exercise. So these are just designed to keep you moving so that you don't get stiff at the desk, and that you can increase your activity levels. So continue with your exercises. If you can, going for walks, going for runs, going for the things that you actually enjoy doing. So if it's tennis, bowls, cricket, whatever it is you play, whatever you're into, keep that up. These chair exercises are just based to supplement some of that really, and to get you moving a little bit more. Or it's for people that, if they're less mobile, you can continue with these exercises. So some elderly people, can get on with these exercises, or yeah, people that are less mobile. So I'm at the pretend desk. So the first one that we're going to start with is ankle pumps. So these are literally just lifting your feet and your heels off the floor. So I don't know whether you see my feet there. So we're going to start with getting into a nice position off the chair, and what we're going to do is feet up and then toes up. So just rocking, then toes, just moving them like that. So you're going to do about 10 to 15 of those. And these are just called ankle pumps. So the toes moving. And then from that position, what we're going to go into is a leg kick. So you're going to lift that leg out, kick that leg out. Nice contraction at the top and pulling your toes up towards you. Hold it for a count of 3 and then back down, and you're going to do it on the other leg. So 1, 2, 3. Back down. As I said, keep them toes pointing up towards you. And if you can see as well that I'm doing it nice and slow, nice and controlled. And the reason why you want to do it nice and controlled is because if you're just kicking your legs out like this, it's not really utilizing the muscles as it should be, using momentum. And really what you want to be using is those muscles, keeping them muscles nice and controlled, nice and strong. So from that, then what we're going to go into is some sit to stands. So if you've got an armchair with arms, then you can use the arms to do this, but I haven't, so I'm going to use the chair. So it's literally leaning forward, pushing up, standing up, and then sitting back down. You can use the arms of the chair if you're less mobile. If not, then just coming down to a nice seated position, and we're going to do that again. So push up, and then we're going to slowly lower down. You can, if you want, have your hands out as you're doing this, and then slowing the seated bit down. But as I said, if you're at the desk or if you're in the office, you might look a bit of a dickhead doing that. You might look a bit of a dickhead doing this, but at least you're getting the exercise. Or the other thing that I've done in the past is how many you can do in a minute with a colleague as well. So get the people that are in your office doing this as well. So again, you're going to do about 10 to 15 of those, and then we're going to move on to some trunk exercises. So from this exercise, from this position, in a nice seated position, away from the back of the chair, is you're just going to reach round. If you can touch the side of the chair, hold it there, and we're going to go back round again, touch the chair, and this is just going to be working on some of the obliques and getting some trunk rotation. And this is what happens when you're in the chair and sedentary for a while. You lose range in the trunk, so it can feel a little bit of a stretch as you bring it around. So you're just going to go either side like 10 to 12 times, 10 to 15 times if you can. And you might not be able to come all this way either, so you might just be able to come here, and then that feels enough here, and that feels enough here, and that feels enough. If you can't get all the way around, it doesn't matter, as long as you're trying to get trunk, your hips are stable and you're trying to come round and you're trying to rotate, that's what you want. So you're up, nice upright position, and then you're just going to come round. Right, once you've finished, then we're going to do some side bends. So again, sometimes it's a bit difficult to do with chairs with arms, but again, it can be achieved. Just come forward a little bit further on your chair, nice upright position. You're going to bend down as far as you can, and then try and touch the floor. So these are just called side bends. And again, around about 10 to 12 of these either side. It's just going to get your trunk moving, your obliques moving, your abs working. get you a little bit more mobility range of trunk area. So what you don't want to be doing is rocking like this, because you're not doing anything then. Up tall, and then you're focusing on coming down and controlling it. So as with all of these exercises, it's controlling it down and then controlling it back up as well. Right then we're going to move on to some arm circles. So these, if you've got a chair like mine and you've got a bit of space, you can do bigger circles. If not, then just small circles like that, rotating as big a space as you can, and it will just get those shoulders moving really. And then from bigger circles you go back to smaller circles, and then you go back round the other way. As bigger circles as you can manage, or the environment allows you to get. And then once you've done it both ways about 2 or 3 times, you'll swap over to the other arm. So again, start small circles, figure out your area, how far you can get it without bashing into things and creating a risk to yourself or to other people. And then again, back the other way. And then like that. And because I've got quite a bit of space, I can do quite big circles. And if you can do quite big circles in your area, that's great. But if you can't, don't worry. It's just about getting you moving. Yeah, so the other one is reaching forward. So again, just some trunk movement, and stretch off that lower back. So if you've been in a seated position or a slump position for a while, your lower back can take a bit of a beating really, and it can get a bit stiff. So hands on your knees, and then all we're going to do is reach down as far as you can, and then back up. Reach down as far as you can, and back up. So when you're coming back up, you really want to be using your back muscles. So controlling it down and then controlling it back up. Controlling it down, controlling it back up. And again, about 10 to 15 of those. All right, this time, what we're going to do is concentrate on scapular setting. So how I teach this usually is thinking about a pencil between your shoulder blades and trying to hold that pencil there. So you're going to pull those shoulder blades together, hold it for a count of 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly relax down. That's it. And again, back, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thinking about that pencil and then just relaxing it off. And again, so pulling the shoulders back and down, and then relaxing it off. And you're going to do about 10 to 12 of those. Again, pulling them shoulders blades down and back. And if it helps you, thinking about holding that pencil between your shoulder blades and then relaxing off. Yeah, so we can do some dips on the chair as well. So this depends on how mobile you are. So if you've got a chair with arms, you can push up and then slowly lower yourself down. All right. If you haven't, then you can use the chair to lift your bottom off the chair and then back down. Lift your bum and then back down, so slowly lowering it down. If you're at a good stage where you can do a good tricep dip, so bring your bottom off the chair, support yourself with your legs and your arms, and then as you're going to come down, push back up. So down and push back up. And again, these are the ones that you might look a bit of a dickhead, but you're getting the workout in and you're doing the activity. And if you start doing it, other people might start doing it as well. So again, if you can, if it's just pushing up and holding it there, that's great. If you've got arms and you can push yourself up a little bit further, even better. If you can do the ones off the chair, perfect. Carry on with those. Yeah, so other stretches that I'd suggest really are your chest stretch. So coming away from the back of the chair, putting your hands in the small of your back, so just there, and then all you're going to do is squeeze those, squeeze the elbows together and holding it there, and you should feel, as you're doing this, you should feel a stretch across your chest and your shoulders. Again, hold this for about 20 seconds, because when you're in this position, all your pectorals and your anterior delts get quite tight, so you want to be stretching those off. And again, if you can, trying to get into a bit of a lower back extension. You can do this on the chair, just getting a bit of lower back extension and getting that chest stretching. Again, all the stretches I'd hold for about 20 to 30 seconds. Another one that I do is your delts, just stretching those shoulders off, holding it for a count of between 15, 20, 30 seconds, and then swapping over. And then you move on to your neck then as well. So your neck is just gentle mobility exercises. So just looking over one shoulder, holding it there. If you can put a bit of extra pressure on it as well, just to get a bit of an extra stretch. Again, you're going to hold it for about 20, 30 seconds and do the other side. And then we're going to go from ear to the shoulder. So a lot of people do this, but it's actually bringing your head down, and you should feel a stretch on this side. Holding it for about 20 to 30 seconds and then doing the same on the other side. And the last one with your neck that I quite like is poking your chin out and then pulling it back in. Poking your chin out and then pulling it back in, so you're getting a double chin. So you get like a Deirdre Barlow, Quasimodo look, and then you get a double chin. And what happens there is you're moving the facet joints in the neck, so it opens up those facet joints, so it helps to relax some of the muscles in your neck. And when you're in this sort of position for hours on end, it's quite nice to get some mobility work around that neck. Other things that I could suggest really are, I quite like an exercise that you lie on your back. I do this when I get home. So I know it's not in the office, but it's great for me. So onto the floor, as straight as I possibly can, and then it's bringing my arms up and then just tapping the floor with the back of my hand. And I'll probably do about 10 on either side. Again, if you can't do this, if you can't get onto the floor, or if it's difficult to get onto the floor, I'd skip that one. So there you go, some of the exercises that I do at a chair. Again, not to replace any of the exercise that you're doing. Carry on with all of that. It's more the fact that this will supplement some of that work. It will increase your activity levels whilst you're at work, and if you are getting any sort of if you're in a position for a long time and you're getting sort of neck aches and back aches and things, it could be the position that you're in at work. So it could help to alleviate some of that you're getting. Hope it works. Let me know anyway. Bye. The other thing to say, so you can find things that help motivate you as well. So if you're working with a colleague, as I was saying earlier, like as many sit-ups, sit to stands as you can with a friend, get somebody that will motivate you. So if you're both doing it together, or if your office is doing it together at a certain time, you're more than likely to continue doing it, and not feel so self-conscious. Get people on side, let them know that you're trying to increase your activity levels and things, and see if there's anybody else that wants to do the same. It's the same as like going for a walk at lunchtime. If there's a different place that you can go for lunch, maybe outside, anywhere like that's just away from your desk, it gets you active, but it also does so much more for your mental health, and does so much more for getting things like vitamin D, increasing your endorphins and things. Not just that, if you're doing it with your work colleagues as well, like, it'll increase your productivity and increase your team morale. So other things that I was thinking about is to increase the activity levels at work and things is like rubbish basketball. So making your bin the basketball hoop, and then throwing your rubbish into the bin. Obviously not as people are walking past, but if you can throw it, and like if you don't get it in, you've got to get up and walk. You've got to get up and go and put it into the bin. So it's increasing your activity. Maybe have a consequence if you and your mate are doing it as well. If you get it in, and if you don't get it in, or you get it in so many times, they've got to go and make the next cup of tea, or like have consequences and rewards for it as well. So if I don't know, if you get 10 in, or you get 50 in if you're really good at it, then treat yourself with a 10-minute reward. Go for a little walk, or have a tea break for 10 minutes or something. Just give yourself those little blocks, and it's something to aim for as well. Yeah, so them are my ideas anyway. So if you've got any, drop them in the comments, or let me know what you do at work to increase your activity levels, or increase like the participation in activity and exercise. Is there any exercises that I haven't mentioned that you do on the chair, or is there something that exercises that you do that could be implemented into that plan? I'd be really interested to know if there was anything else out there. I've heard of things like Office Olympics, and gamifying things as well. So if there's anything that you've got that you think would be interesting for me, then yeah, drop it in the comments. Let me know. Do you know what I totally forgot as well? Gym ball seats. So gym ball seats and standing desks. So there's lots of standing desks out there. I love a standing desk. If I'm sat for too long, I get fidgety, and it just hurts my back, hurts my neck. When I'm in a nice upright position for a bit, I can jiggle about and I can keep moving, get some of the steps in. So have a look for standing desks, or where I work, I could request one. Maybe that's the same for you. If you've got a HR department, or manual handling department, things like that, have an ask, see what they can do for you. The other thing is gym balls as well. So gym balls are great. If you can get a gym ball for a bit, and you can sit on that for while you're typing and things, it keeps your activity, it's good for your core. Don't overuse it though. It's just like being on a chair. If you're overusing it and you're not used to it, you need to build up that tolerance and build up that and increase it gradually. So if you are thinking about that and you've never done it before, maybe start at home for 5 minutes or however long you can cope with, and then increase it gradually so that you can use it whilst you're using your PC and your work equipment. And obviously make sure that if you are using it, then it's on a safe flooring. Don't be silly with that. and it's actually over. Sorry, that is actually the end. Sorry about all of the stuff that I forgot in that, but there was just lots and lots of information for it. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments or email me as usual or phone me. Please hit subscribe. I'm bringing content out weekly, so hopefully that'll be interesting for you as well. So until next week, until next episode, hope you look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.